As you can see, they don't take up a whole lot of room. Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today, I want to talk to you about 10 things that you might have forgotten from your survival kit, so stay tuned. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to make sure and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I often say it at the end of the video, but people don't always watch to the end, so it really does help the algorithm push the video out to more viewers. Also, make sure and check out our website at waypointsurvival.com. This is where you can check out our classes that we teach here in Southern Ohio. You can see the required gear list. You can also purchase some merchandise there. All of it goes to help support the channel. We really appreciate it. We'd love to have you in a class. The first item that I believe people forget to put in their survival kits is oral rehydration salts. This is an electrolyte drink. It's a mix. You can get it either in packets like this or you can get it in a tube. I have them in both kinds. This fits better in certain types of kits, so this is a really handy way to rehydrate yourself. If you're out, you're backpacking, you're surviving, just practicing your skills, or if you're in a real survival emergency type situation, this can really be a lifesaver. When you get super dehydrated and your body is missing those all vital electrolytes and all of those things that our body needs to stay healthy, you can add this into your water and it can make all the difference. The next item that I think is really important, and you all are pretty familiar with it, so I'm not going to spend a long time on it, but make sure that you have some of these hand warmers. There's 2 of them in this packet. This can really go a long way toward saving your life. If you can't start a fire and you're really cold, this, along with an emergency space blanket, which most people pack, can really be the difference between life and death. Also, if you get cold feet at night, you could put these under your socks. Between 2 pairs of socks is what I prefer. And again, really helps you get a better night's rest, which is, of course, very important. The next item, which is really important, is this anti-chafe stick. This is sort of like a deodorant, but it's a non-greasy formula, which is sweat and water resistant, but it does wash off with soap and water. But this right here is a huge help. If you get scalded between your thighs or if you get blisters on your feet, you are not going to be able to walk very far. And a lot of people overestimate their ability to walk or bug out, and if you have to walk any distance, this right here could be a real lifesaver. Maybe not just for you, but for your friends and people that are with you, and anywhere there's chafing, including along your shoulders where your backpack straps are going to be chafing you for carrying it long distances. That becomes a problem after a while. This right here is a great lifesaver, can make a huge difference. The next item that people sometimes forget is blue thread locker. Now, you don't use this all the time, but there are critical pieces of things that you may have to take apart and put back together to make sure they work properly. And this, of course, is the blue. You get the red. The red is more permanent. The blue you can take back out, but it will keep it from just vibrating or coming out on its own. Now, it depends on what kind of protection system you're running, whatever you're doing when you're out in the backcountry to protect yourself and your loved ones. But having some of this blue thread locker can be the difference between keeping all your parts where they belong or having something that goes loose on you in a very critical moment. And so I highly recommend having a small tube of this in your kit. The next thing that is really important that a lot of people forget is found in this little handy container. And this just happens to be a small pair of folding reading glasses. And it has these type of folding frames. The earpieces extend, and so it makes it easy to read and see things up close. Now, I don't wear glasses, and I am grateful that I don't have to have any corrective lenses at this point in my life. But there are a lot of people that do. But I have found it possible that at times when I'm working on really small things, or if I need to get a splinter out of a finger, that I really appreciate having something that is small and compact with me that I can pack into a kit. And this is made by Foster Grant. You don't have to get that brand. It also has a handy little mirror that packs inside. But I like it because it's compact, it's easy to carry, and it's protected. So I think this is something else that a lot of people forget to include. It also will help keep chips out of your eyes. If you're shaving or chopping, just extra little eye protection, which of course is always important. Now this next item is really important, and I almost never hear anybody talk about this. What this is no-dose. And many of you are familiar with this, maybe some of the younger viewers aren't, but 200 milligram tablets. And you can carry a whole bunch of these in a small pouch or a pocket. And of course 200 milligrams for one pill. You could double up to get 400. But if you're pulling guard duty, now I know it's nice to have coffee and chocolate and all of those things when it's outside and cold, but still, having these is really easy to carry. You don't have to cook anything. All you need is a swallow of water, and maybe not even that. So very important. Highly recommend that you have a supply of these, not only in your kit, but also in your home, because you just never know when an emergency occurs, and you just literally have to stay awake, and this will help you do that in an emergency situation. Could save your life and the lives of your family members. This next item is easily recognizable. It is a small collapsible umbrella. Now this is made by Totes. You can get any brand you wish, but Totes of course is a good brand. What's nice about it is it's very compact, it doesn't weigh a whole lot, but it's a really fast deployment. So sometimes when you're out and about, and I tell my classes, it's easier to stay warm and dry than it is to get warm and dry. And so if you're out and you have this accessible, it's so much quicker to deploy than even a poncho, and certainly quicker than a tarp shelter. And sometimes when you are going somewhere and you're backpacking and a sudden rain springs up, and let's say you are trying to put together your kit, you're trying to put up your shelter for the night, you can just take something like this, open it up, it's got a button here that you push, and you have immediately a pretty good amount of coverage. And you could hunker down under a tree. You could use this for putting over top of your backpack or covering a wood pile. This is especially handy if you're trying to start a fire in the rain, because this provides enough coverage that the rain's not going to be falling on it and it's going to drip outside of your fire lay. So highly recommend one of these small compact umbrellas in your survival kit. The next item that you may have forgotten from your kit is this right here. Now I know it doesn't look like a whole lot, but inside is something that is very important to most of us. Attached with a line, so you don't lose it, are these op drops. Now you don't have to get this, but of course these are military. But what they are for, this is for keeping the lens of your optics, whether it be your binoculars, your glasses, a scope, anything like that, keeping it clean, and the bag is the lens cloth. I know you can use other things to clean lenses and wipe them off, but if you're not using the right kind of material, it's easy to scratch glass, especially if you have glass that has a protective coating, an anti-glare coating, things like that. You don't want to just rub that glass with just anything. And so having some good compact lens cleaner, not only the drops, but also having a good cloth with you, very important for a survival kit, and I think it's something that a lot of people may have forgotten. The next item that is really important to remember is an eyeglass repair kit. And this one's really nice. You can get it at Walmart. None of this stuff is super expensive. But again, it has the screwdriver. It has a small magnifying lens in it, which you can use for repairing the glasses. Of course, we also have our small glasses with us that we use for reading. But this can be used for multiple things. It just happened to come with an extra one, so redundancy is always good. It has extra screws. And of course, we have the Loctite, so that if we need to make sure that screw doesn't come out again, we can put it back together. Now, as I said, I don't wear corrective lenses, and I'm very grateful for that. But there are a lot of people that do. And it would be catastrophic in a survival situation to have a part of your glasses come apart, whether it's the bridge of your nose or the earpieces come loose. It happens just from normal wear and tear. And this could literally be a lifesaver. I could not imagine anything more scary than being in a bad situation with poor eyesight with glasses that don't work. And so highly recommend having this. I have people in my family that do wear glasses, and so this is just something, it's small, it's compact, it's lightweight, but when you need a little tiny screwdriver and replacement screws, there really is no substitute for having the right thing. It's very important to have in your kit. And the final thing is a little tiny tube of super glue. Now you can get these in a multi-pack. There's 5 or 6 that come in a pack. You can get a larger tube, of course. These are considered single use, but of course you could use them for more than that as long as you capped it tightly. But what's important about this is there are so many things that you might have to repair in the field. You can use super glue, of course, cyanocrylate for putting together a wound. And these are used, of course, in the medical field. You can also use this to repair your glasses if you need to. We talked about that earlier. You can also use this if a crown comes off of a tooth. And again, it's causing you trouble eating. Sure, it's not the best solution, but it would sure be a lot better than trying to deal with that in a survival situation. So highly recommend that you have some super glue with you and that you buy these small tubes because they're super handy. And if you do open one up and it dries out on you, then you'll have several other of these small tubes that you can use in that situation for some future emergency. So here they are all laid out together. Again, none of this stuff is really expensive and none of it is really big and heavy. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room. As a matter of fact, as you can see, it doesn't take up very much space at all. But these items here, very important and something that could truly save your life in a survival situation. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below, just under the More button. And while you're down there, you'll also find our waypointsurvival.com link. And this is where you can sign up to take survival and bushcraft classes here at our beautiful training facility in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.